Hi everyone! Today I just have a video about some thoughts, maybe some questions about what you do for your homestead, your property. Right about there is my property line. And we have a septic system because when I moved here in 1988, well, the septic system was already here, but public water wasn't available, so I also have a well, and sewage still isn't available on this line. What I'm showing you now is actually not my property. So let's get back to the property line. So our gray water just flows out into the yard and spreads out, and it comes down right about there and then turns and goes pretty much straight out. And it used to be open and was never a problem. I never had excessive gray water that it, sat around or anything like that. And then probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, it was a while ago, the neighbor who lived down here said, hey, your gray water flows, you can see right here, let me show you, flows down over to my property and it's making it like really wet in that area. Could you just do something with your gray water? So you can see it is pretty wet, and this is a really wet year for this. And you can see I would come out here and I'd be like, wow, I'm not even using that much water. Like, why is my gray water flowing like this? Well, my gray water was indeed flowing right around here, but I didn't know that then, and I only found out about a week ago that this isn't all my gray water. This is an old pipe that is a natural spring that we've actually looked at the pipe. And I should have looked up what it was called before I made this video, but this is what it is. This is pipe that hasn't been made since, I believe, the 70s. And like I said, I moved here in 1988, so I don't even know if the family who I bought the property from knew that this existed. Now, there is a wet weather spring further up by the road, and on the road that I live on, there are actually spots on the road that during the summer they're wet whenever everything's dry, and I think that's a spring, coming up through that area as well. So a few years back, my husband, and this was not in response to that neighbor because he's long since left. He it's funny because he actually got a loan on his property for, I think, $300,000 on his 12 acres to improve it. And then he took the money and he moved to Florida and he retired. And so the property was abandoned for a very long time. So anyway, my husband, a few years back, I said, hey, look, our gray water is like flowing up there again. Could you fix that? And we did. We dug everything. We put in a really nice dry well. So when I was cutting grass and I said, I'm hitting water over there and it makes it hard for the mower to go through, my husband said, it's not the gray water. There's no way that pipe that I put in there was damaged. There's been no vehicles or anything over there. And I said, look, it's actually a little smelly too. So what I did when I came back here, I came back with a shovel and I dug it back and it was black, like stagnant water gets. And he came out with me, my husband did, and we looked at it and he said, look, we're not using any water in the house and you see movement in this water. There is no way that this is from our gray water. So we actually, I said, this is, and that's what he said, this is a natural spring. And because it's that really old pipe, and I will probably end up putting the name of that pipe in the comments because I can't remember it. He said, you could actually have yourself a nice little pond here, a water feature. And I chuckled, and I never gave it any thought after that. But so for the past week I've been coming out here every day, and right about there is where the pipe was, and I've dug back this far. I didn't want to, I really just don't have, honestly, the energy or the ability to dig that far in one day. So I'm following this pipe back, and it looks like it just goes straight back there. And if you can see right there, that is a tree that we have put T-posts in the ground to hold up because it just fell over and it just wasn't doing so well. And I'm thinking that it drowned from too much water. It's still alive, it's just really weak, and even when the tree was really big and beautiful, you could actually go over there and shake it with your hand, and it was like there was nothing for the roots to grasp onto. So I'm pretty sure that this pipe is going to take me so close to that tree, and I'm wondering if that's actually where the spring may be coming up out of the ground. And as I dig, I'm getting really close to this tree right here, and it's really hard to dig because obviously you need to stand, and that's, so close to the ground. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and this is like every day I go back a little bit further, probably maybe a foot or 2 feet. And today I actually saw a ground frog. He was sitting like right about here, and I walked over, and the ground frog just bloop, jumped into the water and swam up the pipe. So who knows, maybe there's an underground spring where he can, like, I don't know, go in like the hollow earth or something. So yeah, that's it. That's what I'm doing today, and this really isn't a prep, but it's really interesting, isn't it? And then I'll show you something else that isn't related to this spring that may become a pond, which actually having this here is actually really nice to know this is here, because we do have a well. So if our power goes out, we actually don't have any solar or hand pump well to replace our pump, so we're out of water if the electricity goes out. So this is nice to know that this is here. I may be able to use this if it's not just a wet weather spring. But right here, if you can see, we have some of these wild strawberries. See that? And I didn't plant those, they just grow wild. And people say, oh, it tastes nasty. And you know what? They are nothing. They are not sweet. They're not like a strawberry. Yuck. I don't even want to swallow that. Yuck. They're not even like a strawberry that grows. That's probably why the animal studied them. Strawberry that grows, that one's growing. They're not even like a strawberry you would buy in the store and plant to grow on purpose. But apparently they have vitamin C, so they're a wild edible. Just like, what are these? Violets, they're a wild edible. But yeah, so that's it. That's what I was working on a little bit today, and I can show you, if you don't mind, an extra long video today what else I was working on. Okay, I stood up. I just didn't want you to have to hear me moan and groan while I was walking, or attempting to get up. So what do we have here? This is one pile of wood chips that I had delivered. So if you want free wood chips to make like a forest garden or anything like that, this has been sitting here almost a year, and when I dig way down inside there, it's nice and hot. But when you get free chip delivery, you do get stuff like this. And if you are totally organic, you would want to let it sit for a while. I don't know, what's the limit, 3 years or so? I don't even know if you'd want free wood chip delivery if you're totally organic. And another thing is about using this in your garden. If you get free wood chips and they chipped up a walnut tree, it would probably kill everything you mulch with it, especially your tender annuals like tomatoes and peppers. So this is our kiwi vines that we pulled out because my brother-in-law was redoing our little barn, and it was in the way because this grew too close to the barn. And I have 5 different kiwi plants planted, and apparently they're all female or all male because I've never gotten a single kiwi. So I'm probably gonna leave them ripped out, maybe dig them out by the root, not sure. But these will get shredded up or mulched up or something. I have a lot of piles of things that need mulched up because our shredder, is that what it's called? Chipper. Our chipper broke. Here's another pile of something that needs shredded up. And let's see, this is everything I weeded out today. I just throw it out here, and I'll come by with the mower and just chop it up with the mower. I don't even waste my time putting it out. You know, so many people pull their weeds, and they put them in bags and expect the garbage man to take them to the landfill. I don't know. I just kind of feel like, you know, if you want to be self-sufficient and take care of yourself, well, take care of yourself and be able to survive without the garbage collection. So here is another pile of twigs and old lumber, or what is that, old siding that needs done, chipped up. And of course there's one of my 2 traps I have set for the groundhogs who were able to actually get into my fenced garden. I didn't think I was going to have to set traps this year. So I did catch 1 groundhog, and he was happily dispatched. And then I caught a possum who, well, the groundhogs are diurnal, if that's how you say it. They go out during the day. And of course I was going to say octopuses. The possum, I actually had to pause the video to think of the name. Oh my gosh, my words are like flying away from me. I can't find them anymore. The possums are actually nocturnal. So I caught a possum, and it was a job getting him out of the trap alive. And of course, I wouldn't hurt a possum because he's not eating my plants, hopefully. But even if he was, I'd try to keep him out, but they're going to eat so many ticks and mosquitoes and such. So I would just let that possum live. And I did actually make a video of me getting him out of my trap, so maybe I'll have to post that. I just wanted to show it to my grandson. This is my other load of wood chips I got delivered. I got 3 loads delivered in one day. So this is what I've been doing. Doubling down on the cardboard. I did have cardboard and chips here, but it wasn't as thick as it needed to be. So I've been putting down cardboard. I just put all these chips in today. And there is my little pawpaw that I planted probably 3 or 4 days ago. I live in southwestern Pennsylvania, and I do realize that Pittsburgh is in southwestern Pennsylvania. However, I drove probably 23 miles, 25 miles into town to pick up some pawpaws from a man, and I think I paid him $5 only, which was amazing for that tree right there. And I just wanted a little bit of diversity, although when you plant pawpaws, you get enough diversity as long as your plants are from different seeds. So, I mean, you know, to get fruit, like so many trees need to cross-pollinate. So there's a pawpaw there. He's been there for a while. I just took his chair off today. When I plant a pawpaw, I leave them covered with a chair because they need shade when they're that young. And then I see an oak I have to pot up, and then there's a peach tree I have to pot up. And then there's a pawpaw, and he's black because I just took his chair off and he got a little bit of sun scald. So anyway, he's nice and aged. He's, I think, 3 years old, maybe 2. Then right here, where's my other pawpaw? Oh, yeah, there's a little guy under here. I just put him there last year, so I'll leave, when I plant a pawpaw, I will leave the shade over them until they hit the bottom of the chair, and then that year I will take them off. And this is a great use for your old nasty chairs that are broken, and because those plastic things, look at that, they always break. And then of course I put a brick on them to keep them from, you know, blowing away in the wind. And then there is a peach tree. I mean, peach, yeah, another pawpaw tree. And I think I showed you this before. And then there's a pawpaw tree that is the same age as this little guy, this big guy over here, but the deer like pawpaw, so they ate that one. And then so far, nothing has found my watermelon that I planted here, planted there. And then I put another over. Is that a peach? No, that's not a peach. Why do I keep saying peach? I get peach on the brain. A cucumber maybe. I put it there. Nothing's eaten it yet. But isn't, well, yeah, a little bit of the leaves have been eaten. However, the ones that are in the garden, in the fence, have all been eaten down to the, like, bottom, and they're starting over. But this pawpaw tree here is the same age as this one, only the deer just chopped the top off of this one when, you know, a couple years ago. And then this is my big boy, or big girl, I don't know what I'm gonna name her, but she had so many flowers on her, like over 30 this year. And of course, without another tree that had flowers for pollination, no fruit. I was pretty bummed again, but hopefully this tree, maybe not this tree, but this tree should have some flowers next year. But I probably won't get pawpaw fruit next year either, but the year after that I should have so many pawpaw that I'll be sick of them. But there you go, that's what I've been doing today, working on filling in this area with the mulch and the cardboard. I like to do 4 layers of cardboard, so that's 2 boxes folded flat. And over here are some of the other trees that are for sale. These are the little oaks that I've potted up, and these things are all hidden over here because they were just potted this year. So right there, I really wouldn't expect anybody to pay $10 for that little seedling. I would sell it for $5, except that that pot is $1. And then because that's a 3-gallon pot, it has a lot of dirt and mulch in it. So I'll just hold that for a year or two, and it'll be a $10 pot plant. And right here were 2 huge, they weren't huge, they were 4 feet peach trees that I up potted, but they were growing right over there, and I had to dig them out. They were huge. I should have dug them out years ago, a couple years ago. So they all, I pruned them and then they wilted, so I don't know if they'll come back or not. And so they're sitting there. And there's some walnut trees right there that I potted up. And honestly, because these guys are just so prolific, I'll sell them for $10, but seriously, if somebody offered me $5 for that, I would definitely take that. And then here's the little barn that we're having resided, so you can see how bad it is. And then I'm going to go in through here and dig out a lot of that wood so that the wood doesn't touch the dirt. And then maybe I'll see if my handyman brother-in-law can, like, jack this up, because I think it's sinking. But I digress again. Okay, oh yeah, so here's a peach tree I'll dig up, and then I'll pot that one up. And right now I'd say that's a $5 tree, but it'll, if somebody came along and wanted a $2 or $3 tree, I would dig it up and give it to them. If I put it in a pot, you know what, like, it's a $5 tree when it's that big, but then when it gets a lot bigger, it's a $10 tree. So that's it. That is what I'm doing today, and hopefully I'll load this up in a timely manner and not just leave it sit on my phone like I did so many other things. So tell me what you think of everything, especially that that spring over there, that natural spring. And then tell me, what did you prep today? Hey, have a blessed day, and thanks for watching this super long video, probably my longest ever.